This is Joe again with another review, and I know I previously done a review of a TV show. I'm going to do another television show for you to review. And of course today is, or the day I'm doing this video, and hopefully it got posted by today, is the 45th anniversary of the first episode of the show that I'm going to be reviewing today, and that's the Brady Bunch. It September 26, 1969, so it's literally the 45th anniversary. So I'm doing this video, on the day I'm doing this video. And this is the first television show we actually had, kind of had like a, or was titled at the time like a combined marriage or a mixed marriage. I'm not talking about for religious reasons or for racial reasons. I'm talking about because the two people when they get married, Mike and Cal, there was a second marriage, and both had 3 kids, and they families merged. You have stepbrothers and stepsisters, and stepmother and stepfather, and all that type of thing. And that's what made the show interesting. And not only that, but also was the very first television show they actually showed a married couple sleeping in the same bed. Which of course a lot of people at the time didn't even know, because before the Brady Bunch, I think there might have been one. Sorry, I had to adjust the camera. There was, I think it was another television show that might have been on the Brady Bunch, showing a married couple sleeping in the same bed. It might have been another show that did that, but I'm not 100%. I think there was. I don't remember what show it was. But I think it was. But going back to the Brady Bunch, the Brady Bunch was a very successful show, lasted 5 seasons. It was a show of its own. It was a pretty long time to have a show running for 5 years. For 5 years, it's supposed to be like a family show and a comedy. And during particularly the first season, you had a lot of stories with dealing with new brothers, and new sisters, and new parents. And of course, it was evident from the very first episode, which was the episode where Mike and Carol got married. And of course, what a lot of people didn't know is that a lot of people harped on the fact that you never really knew what happened with Carol's first husband. That was implied in the god-awful, a very Brady sequel, which aired back in the 90s or late 90s. Those movies are terrible. I suggest you avoid those Brady movies, because particularly the first or both movies really poke fun in the television series. So by the first season, really it was hyped that Carol's first husband divorced, and it was not mentioned in the television show because at that time, 1969, he didn't talk about divorce. It wasn't until like maybe like the mid to late 70s, when shows like Archie Bunker started talking about divorce. I think one of Edith's cousins was getting a divorce, and so that All the Family and More, and the Jefferson, all those shows that came after the Brady Bunch, or debuted after the Brady Bunch. That's when they really started talking about divorces. But not in the so-called innocent time of 1969. But it was implied, it was shown in the first episode that Mike Brady's first wife dies. That's why he's getting remarried. And he ended up raising 3 boys, and of course Carol ended up raising 3 girls. And of course, like I said before, a lot of the episodes during the first season dealing with brothers, new sisters, and new mother, and vice versa with the girls are concerned. One of the more powerful episodes was a particular episode where Bobby felt that he was getting, abused by his new stepmother, because he watched with Cindy, our TV movie version of Cinderella. And he wondered if Carol would treat her the same way, and of course, to clean out clean out the chimney floor because he was short, So he had that. At one point, everybody said goodbye. Didn't say goodbye to Bobby. They all left the house going various clubs or dates or whatever, and they all left him behind. And nobody said goodbye. And he's in the house all by himself with Alice. And how come nobody said goodbye to me? They won't leave. They won't let me here hanging. And no one has the respect for had enough respect for me to say goodbye to me. So he decides to run away from home. And in the end of the episode, when Carol talks to Bobby and says, "I love you just as much as you are my own son." And Bobby says, "Even though I made a step," I said, "Turn around." And there's by the iconic steps in the house, in the Brady house. See those steps? I said, "Yeah, that's only the steps that were in this house, buddy." So that's one of the more. I thought it was one of the more powerful early episodes. Another one, which a lot of people don't know, was actually based on a true story. There was an episode where Cindy's in a play, the infamous Fairy Princess episode. That I think has been parodied in the Brady Bunch, the god awful Brady Bunch movie. But she's only allowed to invite one parent. And who is she going to invite? Because Carol always goes to all her school productions and all that stuff. And now she has a new father. So who is she going to invite? Her new father or her mother? That was actually based on a true story, but it wasn't a girl, it was a boy in the actual story. And it was the opposite, that he had a new father. He actually had a new mother. And so I think they found it was like a local story, or Silver Schwartz was the creator of the Brady Bunch, either saw it on local news or one of the local newspapers or something. And he thought it was such a great story that he wrote a story around that. Where he had the writers for the Brady Bunch write a whole story around that. And another episode that they referenced to as they knew, dealing with the new parents and stuff, was when Marsha decided to have one of the local newspapers decided to have a Father of the Year contest. And so Marsha decided to write this little essay about how that she has a new father, even though that he's only been my father for a short time. Nobody can be a realer father than my Brady. And so she sneaks out of the house to mail the letter because otherwise she would miss the deadline. And she gets punished because she was sneaking out and doing these letters and then doing her homework and doing this other stuff. So I get the letter in on time. And somebody says, "Oh, that's what you had to run out for?" She said, "Yeah, I didn't want to tell you this because I wanted to be a surprise. If you win or something." And of course, what happened was because she ended up winning. Winning the Father of the Year award. And that was one of the more powerful episodes, and that's all during the first year. But of course, as the series went on, you have more and more episodes that, over the years, over the 45 years, the show originally debuted, that a lot of people made fun of. Recently, a few months ago, one of the local stations here in New York did a marathon of a Brady Bunch marathon. And it was like a 12-hour marathon, and I thought that one of the episodes they're going to have on, 6 of the episodes, with the 2 pre-port episodes when they went on vacation. One of them was to the Grand Canyon. Excuse me there. Was to the Grand Canyon, and the other one was to Hawaii, which of course is the 2 best. I tried the 2 best episodes of the whole series. Even though there were 3 port story arcs. But they didn't, unfortunately. There was WNNY. Piece of going in no good, how to put on a good TV marathon. I'm sorry they don't. But what they did was they put on all the episodes that people had made fun of over the years. Specifically, one of the episodes where Jan throws a hissy fit because she ended up getting one of Marsha's old teachers. And now, because he has one of Marsha's old teachers, the teacher gets praising how great a student Marsha was. And Jan's going, "I'm hearing this all day long from my teacher. All I hear is Marsha, Marsha, Marsha." And the rest of the episode was just trying to do something that Marsha never did. And of course, that episode they put on there because she kept yelling Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. But she only did it in one scene. And that one Marsha, she only said Marsha, Marsha, Marsha or she yelled at only once. But they've been parodied in the movies and parodied and everything else ever since. The other one was when Peter goes to a party, or some kid's birthday party, and somebody told him he had no personality. But he tried to impersonate Humphrey Bogart, and he goes pork chops and applesauce. Like impersonating Humphrey Bogart. That also has been parodied in the movies as well. I mean, they took everything that anybody could poke fun of the Brady Bunch, and they took it and ran in the movies, like having AstroTurf in the backyard. The reason why it was AstroTurf in the backyard, people, because the movie was filmed in the studio, not in an actual house. That's why it's AstroTurf in the backyard. Because real grass is not going to go inside of a television studio. But you use your brains about that, people, okay? Of course, you also have the episode where Marcia broke her nose. And of course, the episode goes, "Oh my nose! Oh my nose!" And they keep replaying that clip in a nightmare that Marcia had, which was, "Oh my nose!" So those are the episodes that a lot of people, poke fun of. But one thing that people didn't poke fun of was the two, like I mentioned earlier, the two trips, which I consider to be the best episodes. I think the one with the Grand Canyon episode, I think they finished like episode 3, or started off season 3. And the Hawaii one, I think, was episode season 4 or season 5. I'm not exactly sure. It was season 4, when they had the Hawaii one. One thing I like about the Grand Canyon was that you had two great guest stars. Well, both the Hawaii and the Grand Canyon one had two great guest stars. In the Grand Canyon one, and talking about that one at first, that's the one where the family goes out on vacation to the Grand Canyon. And the first guest star they made was Jim Backus. Of course, he played Mr. Howe in Gilligan's Island, and it was the voice of Mr. Magoo. The other guest star was Jay Silverhills, who originally played Tonto in the original Little Major television series. Of course, Big Shock, he played an Indian in that. And I thought it was great because you get to see the Grand Canyon in there. I think it was one of the first, not the first television show. They actually showed the Grand Canyon on television, and I actually had a bunch of scenes filmed in the Grand Canyon National Park. So I thought it was great because you get to see it on television. I mean, how many times, other than documentaries of the Grand Canyon, how many times do you see even a regular television show of the Grand Canyon? Practically zero, other than a Brady Bunch. And I think that because that's particular 3-episode story arc was so successful, they said, "Oh, let's do another trip." They said, "Okay, what do we do for the second trip?" We said, "Well, let's do Hawaii." So we went to Hawaii, and you see Diamond Head, because they went. I think it was in the Sheridan. Excuse me. They were in the Sheridan and Waikiki, and so they saw the Waikiki beach. And the thing that was annoying to a lot of people was that you saw Marcia in a bikini, and along with Jan and Cindy for a little bit. But Marcia always had her arms covering her body, like her midriff. She had the bikini top on, but you had her arms like this, along with a bathing suit top, or a little shirt that's the cover, fall over her arms. And the reason why she did it because Maureen McCormick, who played Marcia, was a little embarrassed showing off her body in this episode. And that's why she had a lot of times her arms covered, or she wore like a little shirt to cover up. But at least you gotta see something. Same thing with Jan. You saw her in the bikini. She wasn't fully developed yet, but I liked what I saw. Cindy, no one touched that. I'm sorry, I no longer will be. But you also had two famous guest stars. You had Don Ho, who was the most famous celebrity to come out of the state of Hawaii, singing a song to Bobby and Cindy. That was a great scene. And also you have, of course, Vincent Price playing the villain in the last part of the 3-part story arc. In case you don't know what the 3 in the Hawaii one, That was when Bobby found like a little taboo idol. Excuse me. And you had bad stuff starting to happen. It was going like a bad luck idol. So, and then today I was going to go back to the cave and to return it. And Vincent Price found these caves and tried to scare him out. Or scare the three boys, Greg, Peter, and Bobby out of the caves. But of course, by the first season, I'm trying to get through this fast. Robert Reed was such a pain in the butt. He was pretty much kicked off the set because he would nitpick over stuff. Like there's one episode where Alice and Carol were cooking a strawberry preserve or something, and Mike was supposed to act out, oh, what a nice smell of the strawberry preserves. But he pointed out that if you cook strawberries, they don't give off an odor. Good, but in other ways, they don't give off an odor if you cook strawberries. So he points it out, and Abby Davis, who recently died this year, or earlier this year, says, Bob, shut the hell up and do the scene. Because you got to discuss it with it. So by the last episode, it was the episode when Greg heel was turned orange with some hair talent to Bobby Boy in the catalog. He was not in it. Robert Reed, who played Mike Reed, was not in that episode because it was such a pain in the ass that the producers kicked him off the set. Because it was such a pain in the ass to deal with. But as the show itself is still, in my opinion, still one of the comic shows, still one of the better shows for that time. Even if I have a chance now to watch the show, I will watch it. Because to me, it's something that's out of my childhood. Because I was not even 3 years old at the time that the Brady Bunch ended. I was almost 3 when it ended. And I grew up watching that series. I always liked seeing Marsha in a bikini. and that's me. But the funny thing is when they decided to do like a scene, and you also remember in the 70s there was a cartoon series called The Brady Kids. I'm not sure if any of them actually did the voices of the characters on that series, but I thought it was a decent cartoon series for that time. It almost kind of like the Jackson 5 cartoon, the one that also came out around the same time. I think in the 60s, the Jackson 5 cartoon. The Brady Kids was in the 70s. They also made a bunch of TV movies. But 25 years ago, they made a comeback on a television series for a while because they did a Christmas TV movie, and it was successful enough that NBC did a one of the episodes for a while, which didn't last very long, maybe like 10 to 15 episodes, something like that. It didn't last very long, but at least they had, trying to recapture the magic they had originally, but it didn't quite work the second time because people grew up and the show wasn't as good. But as the series is still a good series, and the thing is, it may be hokey for kids today because there's no computers, there's no iPods, there's no iPads, there's no iPhone 6, there's no Apple iPhones or iPads or this, that, or computers or internet. They actually had to physically go out and do stuff. Unlike kids today, because they don't do stuff. They watch videos like mine all day long, or other videos on YouTube all day long. So that's why kids won't relate to something that's 45, a television series that's 45 years old. But that's my review of the Brady Bunch. Please click on the video page made it. Please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time. And maybe I'll start going back doing maybe horror movies, since we're almost up to October now. As I'm doing this video, it's almost October. I'm going to try and figure out what horror movies to do, since I did a bunch last year. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.